Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Waharakar Kadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, peace, many blessings and salutations unto the hopeful elect, the house of David, the Bayaf Dawadah, for whom these epistles are written for in these last days. Shalom to the elect. So, I wanted to do an exhortation to remember the covenant. You know what I'm saying? Though, things are going to tighten. And we do this all the time, because, the situation in Alabama and, many other different situations and things of that nature, you know what I'm saying, are going to reinforce the fact that we're coming into the days that are almost at the end, which we're really at the end anyway, but these things that are popping off, you know what I'm saying, to the point where now it's getting global attention. Jacob and Esau, the story itself is getting ready to conclude. Okay, we're not going to be here forever, man. We're not going to be going on the highways and hedges and teaching forever and ever and ever. All right, just cursing out the so-called white man and still eating deli meat from fucking Walmart. You know what I'm saying? These days is getting ready to come down. So we're remembering the covenant. We're remembering that the Lord wrote the covenant for us. Okay, although we failed him the first time, he had a second covenant, and he used Yahweh blood to basically, lock us in. Lord willing, I'm a part of that number, which is the elect. Okay, and we remember these things, and we have pride in it. All right, not in ourselves, but in the covenant that the Lord has made with us, and that we are going to be able to see it through. Enduring unto the end is the ultimate key. So this is First Chronicles 16:10. It says, "Glory ye in His holy name, which is Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Let the heart of them rejoice that seek the Lord Yahweh." That's right. So rejoice, knowing that the Lord is going to have your back. We go into Joshua 1:9 and 1:7. It talks about, saying, gird up your loin, or or have, be courageous, right? But why do we tell you that? Because there's scriptures like this that are written before that or after that that reinforces the fact that we have to have supreme confidence in Yahweh. He likes that. He likes that a lot, actually. Okay. Verse 11, it says, "Seek the Lord Yahweh and His strength." Okay, and His strength, seek His face continually. So we do these lessons. Okay, you can't be doing no disappearing acts. Now, sometimes brothers, things happen. Okay, brothers, try to, because the apostles be on it every day. You know what I'm saying? Twice, three times a day. You know what I'm saying? So we try to keep up. But it's through the spirit, though. You know what I'm saying? And at the time, and at the same time, you're learning, you're studying, you know what I'm saying? You're reminding yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because we're in this hellhole known as Babylon the Great. Okay, going to work, working for people that absolutely despise us, and we're doing this willingly. Okay, knowing that the Lord is going to save us out of this situation. Okay, verse 12, it says, "Remember His marvelous works that He have done, His wonders, and the judgments of His mouth, which is His prophets." And the judgment is going out throughout the entire earth via the internet, via the now Jake is trying to somewhat come together. I seen an Ephraimite brother. Okay, now we all have the internet. We all seen the memes and things. Some of that shit was funny. I'm not gonna even lie to you. Okay, some of that shit was downright hilarious. You know what I'm saying? And I love a good laugh, but at the same time, at the heart of this, we understand that there's going to be a breakdown of the society. We understand Jacob's trouble is going to be every man for himself. There will not be a standing unity somewhat. There will be of the elect and certain other marauder groups and things of that nature. But what I'm saying is this society will not stand. If you're not covered by the blood of Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, you're doomed. That's just the end. That's the short and the long of it. Okay? That's just the point. Okay? And that's why we seek Him continually. We do these lessons. We go on the highways and hedges, the highways and byways, and we continuously to seek the face of the Lord Yahweh so that He may find favor on us in that time when Jacob's trouble commenced. Because despite popular belief amongst these dumbass Christians, there will not be a rapture. Okay? Everybody, even the elect, is going to have to suffer this shit out. You're going to have to win in the end by endurance. And that's only if you were chosen from the beginning. That's the point. They hate that. Hey, when you talk about being predetermined, they don't like that because that means you never had free will, and we acknowledge that we never had free will. This is all a movie playing out right here on earth in front of the heavens. Okay. Verse 13 it says, "O ye seed of Israel, his servant, ye children of Jacob, his chosen ones." Now, I don't understand how a Christian could read that and then, oh, the Old Testament's done away with, but then he'll flip back a couple of chapters and say, well, you're supposed to tithe 10% to to the congregation or to your pastor. But then once he flips from that, he'll flip all the way to Matthew. He'll skip over thousands of years of wealth and knowledge that brings you into understanding the Lord. He'll skip right all over that. Okay, past Zechariah, past Hosea, all that, and go straight to Matthew, and still can't read Matthew 1:1 because he won't read that, because then that talks about the lineage of our Lord and Savior Yahushua Mashiach, which goes back to the Old Testament. But I digress. He won't do that. He gonna hit a couple of scriptures. He gonna hit Romans 13. All it says all. Yeah. These people don't have it, man. We've known that for a very long time. It's a cat playing with its yarn, man, at this point. Okay, it says, O ye seed of Israel, okay, O ye seed of Israel, his servant, right, ye children of Jacob. It says, his chosen ones, which is the elect. He is the Lord Yahweh, our power. His judgments are in all the earth. So his judgments are happening right now. Even that little fiasco down in Montgomery in Alabama, that ain't gonna be the first or the last. There's gonna be many more of that. Jacob's trouble's coming, and it's gonna be worse than that. It's gonna be extremely worse than that. Some of it will be played on YouTube. And a lot of these things that are going to be happening are going to humble these people, especially you women. Okay, I don't make videos about women too tough because you're the weaker vessel, and the scriptures already outline your doom if you're not covered by a man of the Lord anyway. So it doesn't matter what I say to you. You're not going to listen anyway till it happens, and by that time it's too late anyway. 2/3 are going to be destroyed. That's just what it is. We've accepted that a long time ago. That's why we've been able to endure to this part. See, Jacob's trouble's at the door, and we understand that. And we're not going to BS you around and play games with you and pity pat. We're going to tell you what it is. Whether you accept it or not is up between you and the Lord. All right. Anyway, it says, "He is the Lord Yahweh, our power. His judgments are all in the earth." It says, "Be ye mindful of his covenant. Be ye mindful of his covenant," right? It says, "The word which he commanded to thousands of generations." And we're a part of those generations, aren't we? Okay. You're a part of that generation. Verse 16, it says, "Even of the covenant which he made with Abraham and his oath unto Isaac." So Ishmael ain't got nothing to do with that. What the hell are you talking about? All it said it started with Abraham, and then his oath was unto Isaac, and it even goes further because remember early on in the scripture it says his servant Israel, which is the son of Isaac. It didn't say nothing about Esau. Anyway, it says even of the covenant which he made with Abraham, and of his oath unto Isaac, and have confirmed the same to Jacob for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant. That's what we're looking to secure. We're looking to secure that everlasting covenant where we're going to be able to be on another level. We're already above these people anyway, mindset. We're just in the flesh at this moment. But man, the flesh will be done away with, so to speak. We're going to have spiritual bodies. We're going to be able to do things that defies reality. Okay? And Jake on a low level already does that. in these different sporting arenas. Jake already does that on a low level. That's low level shit. But that's, you know, and you gotta have that faith. It's gonna be hard. I'm not gonna sit here and play around and mess around and tell you some sweet nothings and have you believing in something that doesn't exist. You're gonna suffer. We're all gonna suffer. We're suffering now. We have no life here. The only thing we got is hope in that everlasting covenant, and that's all you need. Verse 17, it says, and have confirmed the same unto Jacob for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant, saying unto thee, will I give the land of Canaan, all right, the lot of your inheritance. Now, how did that begin? It began with a spy expedition, all right, from 12 men, all right, they came from the 12 tribes, the leaders of the 12 tribes of each tribe. They went to spy out the land of Canaan. Only 2 men came back with a righteous report. Everybody else was off like a motherfucker because they were all fearful and unbelieving. The Lord does not like that. He chose Joshua and Caleb, northern and southern kingdom, Judah and Ephraim. Okay? Saying unto thee, I will give thee the land of Canaan and the lot of your inheritance. That's our inheritance. You devils got to be destroyed. All right, saying unto, I already read that. When ye were but few, right? Even a few, and strangers in it, right? It says, when they went from nation to nation and from one kingdom to another people, he suffered no man to do them wrong. Yea, he reproved kings for their sake, and he's going to reprove this king for our sake, just like he did in the past. The scripture says that Yahweh does not change. He is the same today as he is in the past. He said he reproved kings back then. He's going to reprove kings today. This king who's over us right now is the last iteration of the kings of the kings of the heathen. The so-called white man is going to be taken down, y'all. You have to know this. His time is ticking and he knows it. Okay? Verse 21, it says, he suffered no man to do them wrong. Yea, he reproved kings for their sakes, saying, touch not mine anointed and do my prophets no harm. And the only thing that's going to get you out of this current situation we're in right now is that Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, look down upon your spirit, all right, in this time and remembered you from the beginning, because that's how you came into this faith from the beginning. Okay? This was predetermined. This is not some rando like some Jakes. Some Jakes be like, oh, I could keep the laws. I could keep 100% of the laws. No, you can't, nigga. You just sat on a seat where a woman was on her period, you know what I'm saying? And you don't even realize it. You just went off. You unclean, my nigga. Esau done put something in your food, man. He done added some additive, you know what I'm saying, that has pork residue or some type of, tenderloin or something. You feel me? Some type of additive that goes in, and he blended it with your food, but he still called it turkey. Nigga. You need Yahweh Shai. We all need Yahweh Shai. Remember the covenant. The covenant was through Yahweh Shai, all right, laying down his life, okay, allowing us in this time to be a sacrifice, all right, to lay up a sacrifice that will be accepted by Yahweh, okay, just as our big brother Yahweh Shai did. Remember the covenant, man. Galatians 6 and 7, it says, be not deceived, okay, the Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. That's right. So, although this was predetermined from the jump, those who were predetermined to be wicked niggas, they will not hide forever. Trust me. Listen, you be around this thing long enough. Niggas think they can hide from the spirit. You cannot. You just can't. Okay? You can't. None of us can. The spirit always wins in the end. The spirit always reveals. You will be found out. That's included me, you, anybody who doesn't take this thing seriously will be found out. And that's just the truth of it. That's just the matter of the truth. Okay? Sometimes exhortations like this need to come out so that we remind ourselves not to be playing games, man, not to be slacking. Okay? Verse 8 it says, For he that soweth to the flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. That's right. So if you looking to be known in this world, you want to have some type of gain in this world, right? You want to have, you know what I'm saying, notoriety, you know what I'm saying? You want to be the big dog, you know what I'm saying? You want to be the head dog, the teacher, you know what I'm saying? All that kind of stuff. You want to be known in this world for your talents, quote unquote, right? Well, the Lord said that that's vanity. Remember, King Solomon said all is vanity. And he was King Solomon. You know what I'm saying? All is vanity. This stuff does not matter in the end. It's not going to benefit you if you don't have the spirit. If you don't got the spirit, if you weren't chosen from the jump, you're just here. You're fodder. You're one big LOL. That's all you are. A walking LOL. Okay? And that goes for everybody. It doesn't matter because the elect is the only ones that matter. Those of us who take this shit really take not shit, but those of us who genuinely take this seriously understand that the elect, all right, is the saving grace through Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai was a saving grace for the elect. The elect would be the saving grace for the rest of Israel. And even within salvation, there is order. Okay? It says, but he that soweth to the spirit shall of the spirit reap life everlasting. So you're above the reproaches of this society. Although we live here, we pay bills here, we take care of our children, we uphold certain things while being in this society. But when it comes down to it, when the CHIP comes, when all hell breaks loose, when things break down, the society breaks down, when the dollar crashes, you know, the only thing you can lean upon is what? Isaiah 33:6. Okay? The only thing you can lean upon is the hope that was given, okay? The spirit that was given unto you to have hope and that the Lord will save you in this time, all right? And allow you to try to work your way back towards the Lord by doing the work. Remember the covenant. Verse 9 it says, and let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. That's the point. Endure unto the end. A lot of Jakes, and y'all know, a lot of Jakes went wayward. A lot of them start changing the doctrine. A lot of them start bucking up. A lot of them would disrespect the apostles and the elders. A lot of them would start to murmur. A lot of them, you know, hey, listen, and I'm not perfect, man. I had my times especially when I first came in the truth, bro. First came in the truth, I had no grasp of really I knew it was serious, but I didn't know how serious. You know what I'm saying? And experience kicked my ass and taught me a lot coming up in this truth, man. I had to take losses, L's after L's after L's, and I'm fine with that. I'm more than happy with that because if the W is the thing that's going to come in the end, although I would have wished to not have, taking them L's, but that's the journey the Lord set me down. Okay. And if that's the case, if I'm gonna get to a W, I guess it was more than it was super. I'm super glad that the Lord took me through that, to humble me and bring me down to a level, okay, to bring me off of whatever the fuck I thought I was, you know what I'm saying? And to keep it trill with me. And that's all I ask. Sometimes it's super uncomfortable, but guess what though? You feel me? Your realest friends are the ones that's gonna tell you the truth, whether you want to hear it or not. You know? But Salaki for the rant. Verse 10, it says, and we have therefore opportunity, let us do good unto all men, okay, especially unto them who are of the household of faith. And so we do good unto our people by going out preaching this word and telling them really what it is. We're telling them the truth and they don't want to hear it. So we're doing good unto all men by preaching unto them the kingdom of heaven. But only the elect is going to receive that message. Okay. Verse 11, it says, ye see how large a letter I have written unto you with mine own hand. Woo! The Lord wrote a large letter unto us with full of promises, but he also said there's going to be trials and tribulations, ups and downs, ins and outs. You're going to have an apartment one day, you're going to have a house the next day, you're going to have nothing the day after. You'll have food filled up in your pantry one day. 30 days from there, it won't be nothing but dust mites. Okay? And through all of that, guess what? What you got to do? Remember the covenant and endure unto the end. That's the point. Okay? That's the point. Let's get one last, because like I say, man, I wrote some stuff down and I just really wanted to get through it. You know what I'm saying? And I just pray that this lesson is edifying for those of you that can receive it. This is James 1:1. It says, James, a servant of the Most High and of the Lord, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. My brethren, count it all joy when ye fall into diverse temptations. Count it all joy. I spoke about some of the things that I was boneheaded about that I did not really truly understand. You know what I'm saying? I didn't truly understand, and experience was the way I was going to learn from it. I didn't never really think I don't even think I'm on a level now. I just think that the Lord, had mercy on me. You know what I'm saying? Through all the boneheaded decisions I made, non-decisions, things that I might have said that offended brothers, things that I did that might have offended brothers. These are things that I acknowledged that was, that was a part of my journey, man. And I had to fucking learn up, I had to learn on the job, man. Get my ass kicked, you feel me? And apologize. And to any other brother that I've offended, I apologize. It was never personal. I never really was trying to offend anyone. You know what I'm saying? I was really, in the beginning, I was just a get along to go along kind of guy. You know what I mean? Because I just wanted brothers to accept me. But I realized it's not about being accepted. You know what I'm saying? Obviously part of it is, but, it's about growth. It's about knowing what this truly is about, taking it seriously. Okay? And enduring unto the end, remembering the covenant, reflecting on what Yahushua was thinking in his last moments leading up to the last moments. These are things that are very, very important, very powerful. And to be taken lightly is a total disrespect, a spit in the face of the Lord and everything he stood for. Okay? It says, my brethren, count it all joy when ye fall into diverse temptations. It says, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. So your faith is going to be tried. And the ultimate test is going to come at the end, y'all. So prepare yourselves and remember the covenant and endure unto the end. Okay? Knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience, which patience means to suffer. We're suffering not being able to be a true man in this society because this society does not promote true manhood. Okay? Verse 4 says, but let patience have her perfect work, right? It says that ye may be perfect and entire, okay, wanting nothing. Sounds like the kingdom of heaven to me. And anybody who's within earshot of my message, not my message, Salakia, absolutely incorrect, Salakia, not my message. Never was my message. I'm just a vessel. Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah's message. Salakia for that slip. wanting nothing. That's rest, y'all. A little bit, as they call it, R&R, rest and relaxation is what we're seeking. And the only way we're going to rest is if Babylon is destroyed, the so-called white man is taken into captivity. All you heathen are taken into captivity for a period of 1,000 years. 2/3 of the nation of Israel is going to be absolutely obliterated, and the elect will be partying on that ship, that glorious fathership with Yahweh Shai Mashiach. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Harakakadash. Shalom to the elect, and I pray that it's so satisfying.